Good morning, Print 13. I am Mary Beth Smith. I welcome you to the Printerverse. You may know me as the founder of Girls Who Print. And by the way, tomorrow is National Girls Who Print Day. We hope you'll join us here. Today, I am hosting a panel comprised of members of the Market Your Printing Company group on LinkedIn. With us today, we have Jim Mickelson, we have Nicole Bencomo, we have Joe Kern, Richard Dannenberg, Cindy Woods, and Roger Buck. Give them a hand. I'm awfully glad they came today. All right, guys, get your mics ready. Here we go with the first question. What exactly is our product in the printing industry today? Roger, would you like to take that first?
Our product line has gone from being a product to more of a consultator. So, when we get a phone call anymore, it's not about can you do this or that, it's what's the best solution to offer a client. So with us, it's all about a consultative approach as opposed to features and benefits before we even start the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Cindy Woods.
I want to make sure I understand the question. Are you talking about what is the product of our customers?
No. In the printing industry, what exactly are we selling these days? What is our product? Can we identify the product?
You can identify the product, but the product is gone far beyond what the actual tangible product is that you print and that you deliver to your clients, that they in turn use as their marketing pieces. Your product is the experience that you deliver in doing business with your company. Your product is the education that you deliver, that your CSRs and your salespeople bring to the client base and the prospects. Your product is the culture of your company as well. So it is based on, what I like to say is it's based on what you can actually produce and hand over to somebody, which is tangible. And it's based on content, education, and culture of your organization.
Richard Dannenberg.
I think the problem that a lot of smaller printing companies are having is actually coming to the definition at all. So many of them think of themselves as a one-stop shop in their job shops. And the challenge for smaller conventional shops is to identify what is my product, what is the niche. And in some cases, it might be that they expand into marketing services. In other cases, it might be that they find a vertical market, that they deliver a package of services that's relevant to. In other cases, it might be that they find some specialized niche. I mean, it may even be letterpress and wedding invitations. But it can't be across the board anymore. That's the point.
Roger. Joe. Roger had his turn.
I want to echo kind of what Roger said too. I talk to a lot of printers on a daily basis, and when you ask them what they sell, you get the gamut from high format or large format to all the different things that you had suggested. But really, I think we hear I'm a print service provider, or I'm a market service provider. Really, I think it's all about printers provide solutions. I mean, if you think about it, I know you got to get a little bit more specific, but who's your target market? You can sell to anybody out there. Anybody needs printing or solutions in some way. So it's about really providing solutions to customers. They come to you and you provide solutions on whatever their needs are.
Nicole, would you add anything to that?
I don't know what left is there to say.
She just, what they said.
Just say what he said.
I think they've explained it. I don't know if my mic's on. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes.
I think they've explained it pretty well. I think there are solutions. They're delivering a complete package instead of just printing. That's not what we do anymore. We provide the service of consultation as well as a print to combine those services together to find a cohesive package as opposed to just delivering one thing or one mindset. So that's correct.
Jim Mickelson.
I have a
is our
slightly
product?
different take in that anyone with a large enough checkbook can walk out on the show floor here and buy all the software, all the equipment that they want, right? So there's not any sustained competitive advantage that you have the latest wing-ding thing from an OEM manufacturer, because all you need is cash. Now, if you have cash, that makes it easy. What you really need to think about is not so much the product, but the information that you're going to gather and collect and how you're going to use that information in the future. We've gone from a society of local mom and pops to a period where everything was very centralized. And what I think you're going to find is over the next 10 years, it's all going to go back to being very local mom and pop again. The technology's gotten to the point where the prices are coming down, your manufacturing is going to be less centralized. How many breweries were in Chicago? In Chicago, 20 years ago, commercial breweries. One. There was one commercial brewery in this entire city. Now there's 50. And I use beer because most people I know like it, but that industry is kind of leading the way to everything that we're going to see in the print world. The advantages are coming, whether it's 3D printing and you make your cups or anything else. It's going to be the knowledge that you gain from those software investments and those hardware investments that are going to be valuable.
Can I add something to that? One of the things that you brought up, which I think was great, is the information. It's about gathering that information because, we're going to be talking about marketing, and I think what gone are the days of spraying, 100,000 direct mail pieces to people. Everything needs to be more individualized and more geared toward the various segments. So it's about gathering that information. Every printer out there, everybody you talk to, you should be gathering that information, getting it into a database, and utilizing it in any of your marketing. So that was an excellent point.
Anyone who has been around me very much has heard me say that as printers, we've spent centuries saying we're in the printing industry. I think the sea change is that now we're really in the communications industry, and printing is one aspect of that. When printing was the only means of mass communication, it was the printing industry. But now we have so many methods of communicating and of selling products that help our customers communicate with their audience that we are no longer just in the printing industry. We are in the communications industry. So all the things you're saying play into why we have to broaden our perspective on what it is we sell. And quite frankly, until we've gathered information, understanding of how to work with software, social media, and the things we don't even know about yet, so that we do have expertise and we do have credibility, then we can lead our customers into making themselves up to date with how they communicate with their audience. And that is where our profit margin will begin to increase again, because it's not based on, say, a cost plus situation. It's based on the value that you're bringing to your customer. Those are all great answers. A question for everyone. In your businesses, as you're working with customers or with your own company, what do you see the most successful printing companies doing to market themselves? Who has a mic in their hands? Richard does.
I talked to a company in Colorado Springs, Colorado, a few weeks ago that I found to be absolutely fascinating. They started out as a letter shop, and they still have a component of their business that is typical letter shop work, but slowly they're creating essentially what is an inbound marketing agency on top of that letter shop work. And they've done that first by understanding all of the ranges of service that they can provide, anything from doing social media to writing blogs for companies, and then applying that in their own business. And as they learned by doing, they also began doing content marketing out into the print world, and they've taken on customers to convert them, to help them convert from conventional letter shop, conventional print companies to truly marketing service providers, and then some, really to the point of agency work.
So would you say they're self-taught in a sense?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Jim,
learn by
you have a
doing.
mic in your hand.
The companies that we see that are being very effective, that have increased their market share in sales, have really taken the information that they gather and then are applying that to their customers' needs, both for themselves, so they can go out and understand what their customers are, figure out where they are in the buying cycle, because now you don't need to talk to a salesperson to do research. I miss those days. Someone had to call me if they wanted to know something. Now they go online, they look at 50 competitors, and they already have an idea of what they want long before you ever talk to them. So understanding and communicating with them in a two-way conversation, the customers that do that for themselves through their customer base and for their clients, and whatever they are downstream, they're the ones that are being very effective. Because that'll tell you what to produce, how to produce it, and where to price it.
Cindy.
The clients that we work with that seem to be embracing change are, first of all, they're realizing that the audience that they're selling to has changed, and it continues to change. They're not dealing with the traditional print buyer that when I was in sales that I was accustomed to calling on. They're actually understanding that now they're calling on marketing specialists that have areas of expertise, and it may range from online and digital marketing and SEO all the way through to direct mail. But these groups are all working together. And so first and foremost, our most successful clients are realizing that the world on the other side of their walls has changed, and therefore they need to see what is changing and be able to respond or react to that. Secondly, they are educating themselves. And they are educating themselves on more than just print and print technologies and print methods. They're actually understanding that I need to realize what an entire marketing campaign would be composed of, and I need to help them to understand that once they gather data back from a particular campaign, how can we repurpose it and reuse it again in another campaign so that the marketing never stops. One marketing project leads to another, which leads to another, and you continue to build the data and you build you almost help them build their marketing world around them. The marketing people that they're calling on have a lower level of knowledge, I would say, about print, and they don't have the desire to learn all of the aspects of it that we're supposed to know. What they do want us to know, and what they want the sales reps of the companies that I work with to know, they want them to understand what they have to deal with every day, the different people that they have to interact with. They're one little part of marketing, and how they have to interact with all the other parts of a marketing plan. And then they want you to help them figure out the solutions. We talked about solutions. What is it that your company can do to help me in all of these different areas? So I think it starts with the buyers have changed, and then it starts with you need to respond to that by educating yourself on what their world now is all about, and then the application of what your company does to their world.
Okay, Joe, what you got for us?
I think what it is the real successful printers are the ones who they know their target. They've done the research. Maybe they've put together buyer personas based on what jobs they know that they can do successfully, and they're targeting those people. They're creating campaigns, and they're following those campaigns. So they're knowing that buyer that fits them well. They're targeting them. They're knowing their preferred mode of communication. So where are those buyers at? Is my target in social media? If they are, I should be there. Or, where are they at different trade associations? So it's knowing who your target is and knowing where they're at and their preferred mode of communication, which can be as simple as, I prefer email versus a phone call too. So you've got that data and you're marketing to that preferred mode of communications.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's spot on. We have to segment, who we're going after. We have to figure out what message is valuable to that person, and then figure out what media they want to be communicated to. The other part of that is, in our particular case, there's also a high level of education that has to go on. Once we define the target, define what we think their value is, if we don't think they understand the value, we have to put together an education plan to educate them on why they need to go out and selling this product or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of a split level, but it all comes down to segmentation and the media to transfer that information to.
Does anyone have anything else to add to that? So let's take a minute and talk about who all of you are and what you do and what's giving you the perspective to talk about what other companies are doing, could be doing, should be doing. Roger, you still have a microphone. Let's start with you.
I'm Roger Buck. I'm the marketing director for the Flesh Company. We're a 100-year-old family-owned printing company based out of St. Louis. We're a business forms and label plant, and we are a trade-only operation.
I am Cindy Woods. My company is the CMO team. My entire career was spent actually in the printing industry. We had a $54 million printing company in Atlanta, Georgia. We sold it in 2007. Retirement didn't work for me. After 1 week, I started the CMO team because this is what I knew best, which was how to sell and how to market. So now my company goes out and works with individual print companies with marketing strategies and programs.
My name is Richard Dannenberg. My company is DP Marketing Services, and we're a very new consulting business somewhat to the south of Atlanta. My background is in marketing for a fairly large company for 15 years, followed by ownership of a small printing company for 14 years. So I'm coming into the marketing arena for printers more from the local printing company side, and with the intent of trying to help them to transform their businesses.
Some of you may remember Richard's blog that was featured in What They Think for several years called Poor Richard's Print Shop. He has a new blog. What's the name of your new blog?
It's just DP Marketing. DPmarketing.com.
DP Marketing. You'll enjoy his blog. Be sure and look it up. Joe?
I'm Joe Kern from PagePath Technologies. Our product is My Order Desk, which is a web-to-print solution. I'm the vice president of marketing there, and I've been in the printing industry for 28 years now. I've done everything from run a press to typesetting, general management, so I love print, and I market to printers and teach marketing too.
I'm Nicole Bencomo. I work with Cindy Woods at the CMO team. I'm a digital marketing specialist focusing on website development, SEO, and social media.
I'm James Michelson. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of VDP Web. We started as a digital agency and built a collection of SaaS tools, so we're both a software company and a marketing agency that does the back-end support for all the projects we're talking about.
Jim also is the author of a great book, Cross Media Marketing 101. And believe me, cross media it's not just the future, it's the now. So whether you're talking to Jim or someone else who's an expert in that field, all printing companies need to begin to understand cross media and integrated marketing. Okay, guys. You know, even though I grew up in the South saying y'all, I lived in Boston for 10 years, and I call everyone you guys now. So go figure that out. I want to ask you a question. People tend to confuse sales and marketing. What do you think are the differentiators between sales, marketing, advertising, public relations, or is there any difference? Is it all just one big messy ball of yarn? Roger, you're laughing to yourself over there.
Yeah, it is. In short, marketing creates an environment for a sale to occur. So it's marketing's role to create the message to the right target, the right product, the right value, all of that, to create an opportunity for a sales event to occur. To me, advertising and public relations are just two of the weapons in the arsenal for marketing to use. Advertising that's like saying commercial print. It covers too many things. But basically that's what it is. Our job is to create the opportunity. Since we don't always control the sales cycle, we may not control pricing, we may not control product quality, we may not control delivery, all of those things. All we can do is create the environment for a sale to take place.
I agree with everything that Roger said. I would add to that, when we talk with companies, we divide it into three categories. We divide it into sales, marketing, and business development. Marketing is basically the full support team for business development and sales, and we believe very strongly in aligning all three of these together. Your business development, whether it's a team or it's one person or it's a part-time person even, is responsible for going out and looking for opportunities to put your company out there and the face of your company out there in front of all your prospective clients and your clients. They also help with lead nurturing as well. They identify everything from a trade show or a conference or a seminar opportunity, maybe your Chamber of Commerce, and then they go back to marketing, and marketing provides the support that they need to actually put your company in that particular opportunity or in that position. Sales, I'm the mixture of the old world and the new world. I really strongly believe in a hybrid salesperson. I believe that they should understand marketing and be able to speak the marketing speak also, and that comes from learning marketing from your marketing department. And all of your marketing should be explained to and taught to all of your salespeople before it even leaves your door. And so your salesperson is the person who calls after business development and marketing have found the leads, nurtured the leads, found the opportunities, qualified them, and handed them off to the sales team.
Jim, you look like you're itching to say something.
I couldn't disagree more, actually. Everyone is in sales.
My little maverick.
Everyone is in sales, and they're pitching content. I don't care whether it comes from marketing, production, the accounts payable, accounts receivable. You're getting the message to the right person at the right time on the right device. And there is no difference between sales and marketing. And marketers who think that way are going to be out of a job because they need to justify their expenditures, they need to prove their leads, and they need to close business. Because business isn't getting closed through the sales channels anymore. It's getting closed somewhere in the ether, and there's so many places online on the web in the world now. It used to be you had 2 channels. They ordered from your catalog or you called. That's it. There were 2. Now they come from millions of different locations, and you better figure out where they are, and that's through your content. So in my mind, marketing and sales are the same thing, pitching content.
Well, you know, Cindy mentioned the hybrid salesperson. Yeah, Cindy, grab the mic. It's okay. And
You want to throw
it
down
is
right here?
interesting.
No, I agree with what you're saying. We're talking about the functionality of the roles. I think marketing is the person or the team or within the organization that their function is to put the plans together, to execute them. Think of it as the production arm. But everybody's in sales. You're absolutely right. But there has to be some type of definition. Everybody works as a team, but everybody also supports each other on the team. There's got to be some type of definition. This is what I'm responsible for, but I'm right here next to you. I'm your equal in the big picture world. So I agree with what you're saying, but it all has to be aligned, and it has to be operating as a team.
I know Richard has some thoughts on that. I've heard some of his thoughts.
I do. And I'm not completely in agreement with you. I think you could equally say that everybody is in marketing and make the same argument the other way. But I think I'm more there with Cindy. I think that it used to be that marketing was just mortar fire. You know, you put the advertisements out there, you broke up the ground, and then when your sales force went out there, maybe they'd heard your name. Okay, so it was easier. Now marketing is engaged in lead generation, maybe depending on the organization, more so even than the sales force, because people are less amenable to having the sales guy walk in their front door anymore. I think you made the point earlier, Jim, about where people get information and research that's done. All of the content that comes out that does not just prepare the ground, but does a lot of the things that the sales force used to do, that's coming from marketing. The sales force needs to be trained, Cindy said, so that they can convey the same message. But ultimately, marketing is one-to-many. Sales is one-to-one. It's the salesperson that closes the deal.
See, now that's where we disagree.
That's where
right?
we disagree.
It's the one-to-many marketing that's getting us and keeping us in trouble. We have the availability of the knowledge. We need to ask the questions and make every marketing message a one-to-one and two-way conversation. There's no reason to spray and pray. If you're spraying and praying, you're not taking the time to do your job right.
There's a middle ground, and reality is the middle ground. Reality is dividing the market up and providing content that's going to meet the persona that Joe described. But it still is one-to-many. And at some point, a human being takes over. It's not just forms and response. And that human being interacts with the other human being and closes a sale. That's my perspective on it. And, you know, we can agree to disagree, but I see reality as some of both.
Good discussion. Joe, what are you going to add to it if somebody gives you a mic?
No, that's okay. I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to say there's a hybrid of kind of both of these in there. I agree with you 100% that everybody's in sales because, I mean, I'll ask it out to you guys out there who are the printers. Who is your biggest salesman? Do you guys know? Who is your biggest and best salesman? Your delivery driver. If you've got a driver, your delivery guy is your greatest salesman. I mean, you have to think about that because they're the one who is out there constantly. So they need to be trained in sales. They need to have that message, that marketing message that's developed. So when they go to the customer, they have that. But the other thing, too, is there are two distinct, there is that marketing. And I agree, the days of spray and pray are kind of gone. It's more targeted. But the sales is the one who really needs to just generate that interest. Say, you really need my stuff. You really need my product, my services, and here's why. So I agree. There's a hybrid kind of.
Great set of points of view. This is terrific. And you're all going to hate me. I agree with all of you. They're all right. Some of it depends on where you're positioned in your company at this time. But everyone certainly needs to be moving toward the model where everyone in your organization is representing the organization in a way that generates interest, a way that generates education, a way that generates conversion to sales. So that means everyone's in marketing. Everyone is in sales. Now, that being said, not everyone has the same degree of skill sets in all those arenas. There are some who are true hybrids, who get both of them very well. Many people will not, though. So having that support system within an organization where if someone doesn't have the strongest marketing skill sets, there's someone in the organization who is working with them so that everyone is developing and growing. By the same token, if someone does not have good selling skills, and while, yes, some people may have more natural talent in sales, it is still, I don't believe that there is any such thing as a born salesperson. Sales takes some training and some skill sets and some understanding of how business occurs. So you can train people, you cross-train. So we are all moving toward that, but it doesn't mean it's where we are right now. You're going to start where you are, and as Jim and I discussed earlier, you're going to move up in increments until you become masterful at all these things, like these guys and girls. I'm sorry, like all y'all. Okay. And the girls who print, exactly. Here's a question. Now, we've only got about 15 minutes, so I'm going to throw two questions out. We'll try to get through them pretty quickly. First one, what misconceptions do you think most printing companies have about how they should market themselves? Once upon a time, I think we said it earlier, we're going to do a postcard mailer. We're going to blanket the community with postcards. We're marketing. Or we're going to print extra business cards. We're going to include, when we send the light bill in, we're going to put a business card in with it. Somebody might need a printer. Okay, well, maybe those days are gone. Anybody think maybe they are? So what do you think most printing companies' biggest misconception about how they should market themselves is in the year 2013? Who has a mic? Cindy.
No, I would rather he goes first so that I can. No, I think the biggest misconception, what I run into, is money. And it's sad because that's not what you should be thinking about at all. We can market on a shoestring budget or we can do it with a blank checkbook. But you have to spend some amount of money. You have to commit a certain amount of money to it, and you have to stay committed. You can't pull back whenever all of a sudden you've had 1 or 2 months where you didn't hit your sales numbers. That's when you need to be marketing harder. That's when you need to be supporting your sales team even more. So I think the biggest misconception is in order for me and to be successful with my marketing, I have to spend a lot of money, and that's just not true.
I agree with Cindy.
Yay!
And I would only add to that,
And peace ruled in marketing land.
and I would only add to that a lot of times as an industry, we say a lot of do what I say, not what I do. How many times have our OEMs across the way tried to sell you a variable data printer with a static offset piece? Okay. If we're saying that you need to have social media and you need to have data collection and you need to have landing pages and you need to have X, Y, and Z, gentlemen, your mailers had better include landing pages and pearls and social media links. Your emails had better be personalized. They better have a link to a landing page, and it better have reporting, so when your sales force, whoever that connection is, finally goes in and says, hey, Bob, you know how I know this is going to work for you? Because I'm talking to you right now and you called me. How do I know I called you? You got this touch, and this touch at this time. Wouldn't you like that for your customers? Every single marketing piece I got for this show was static and fixed. Not going to help.
Roger.
There's a bunch of misconceptions, I think, but the ones I would throw out is an old basic. Is first of all, we actually know what our customers want, and we think the customers actually know what we have. So it goes back to that communication point, and making the assumption that our database is good. I can't tell you how many printing companies I've talked to where they say, well, we have a good database, we know our customers, and we have good information on them. No, you don't. You know, you got a marketing database, you got an accounting database, the two of them aren't talking to each other, and there's not enough data in either one of them to tell you what's going on.
Richard.
I can take this even from a different tack, and I agree with everything that's been said. The smaller printers that I'm talking to, for the most part, some of them are not marketing, period. Some of them are locked into a mold that is 10 years old. I have a website, and they have a static website that does nothing, or in some cases don't even have a website. I think the perspective that a lot of smaller printers and small businesses have is still the outbound marketing perspective, which is we'll do a campaign, we'll send some postcards out, we'll print a newsletter. And they don't see marketing as a continuum, as something that happens all the time, where everything that their business does is integrated into it, where they're providing content on a website that is informational, not just the old quality service price message that doesn't play with anyone anymore. And they're not providing the specific information about what it is that they really do offer, not just a solution with quotes around it, but a particular service or service product combination that might be interested or interesting to a segment that they can target and get the information out to. There's a lot of room for improvement.
Who's next? Somebody.
Okay, well, coming from social media, online marketing, website, content generation, I'm a huge proponent of providing information to your customers. So your customers aren't only coming to your website to read about the services that you offer them or that promise, that vague, oh, we're so great, we do great things, we can deliver. What they're really searching for, what they're going to come to your website for, is content they can use internally. How can this content help me? And in turn, through that content, you're actually selling your products, your processes, your solutions. So providing information for them to reference, to continually coming back to look at your website, to continually look to you as a content generator, a source, an information aspect, that's what you really want. And I think that, coming back to even sales, I think that probably is the strongest selling point right there. Generating content, informing your customers, and becoming that resource for them so they think of you as an expert as opposed to just, oh, a solutions provider. So.
And you thought you had nothing to say.
That was wonderful.
That's my girl.
The only thing I have to add, which, this has been some great conversation on this question. The only thing I have to add is I hear an awful lot that, this is what we used to do, and I don't understand why it's not working anymore. And I think the mindset of, it worked last year, or it worked 2 years ago, or it worked 10 years ago, is a bad mindset to get into. The industry is evolving, buyers are evolving, so don't be afraid to try new things. Not everything's going to work, but learn from the mistakes. Make sure you have the data, like Jim had said. Make sure you have that data to know what worked, what didn't work. Learn from the mistakes and replicate then the things that worked well, or build on those. But what worked a year ago may not work anymore because of the change. So just be open to the new concepts, the new ideas, the new ways of doing things.
Jim, have you addressed this one yet? Yep. You did? A mind is a terrible thing to lose. Sorry. Okay, one last question. If printing companies could improve only one aspect of their marketing, what would it be? Joe, you've got a mic. Speak. Just one.
Yeah, and that's a tough question. I've thought about that, and I think the one thing is it goes back to an old slogan a long time ago, which is just do it. I talk to so many printers out there that say, we want to try this, we want to try that, or we're thinking about doing this or thinking about doing that. You have to just do it. Just get out there, tell people about you, tell people about your brand, your story, your services. Get it out and just do it, because that's really what's going to get the results.
I would say it's content generation that is useful, relevant, and educational for your clients and your prospects.
That I would add to it engagement, being able to track the engagement. Our biggest challenge, or at least one of them, beyond the content, is getting some sort of engagement that I can track so I know what's happening, whether it be positive or negative. I just need to know.
I would say that it really is. It comes back to planning, really creating a real, achievable marketing plan, and then going to what Joe said, putting it into action. It's more important these days, I think, to do something consistently and continuously than maybe even to spend a lot of money. You just have to have something going all the time. And printers wearing as many hats as they do, especially owners of small shops, it's difficult. So doing the plan and then implementing the plan.
Nicole, do you have something to say?
Digital media, don't let it get away from you. If you have a website, maintain it. Keep it fresh. Keep the content fresh. If you're in social media, don't get overwhelmed. Don't do every platform out there. Choose the ones that you can do well and maintain them and keep them up. Don't let it run away with you.
I think the one thing that I would change, if it's only one thing, is to lead from the front. To do is just take the initiative, do whatever it is, like you guys have said, pick one or two things, stick with it over time, lead from the front, and show your customers we can do it, you can do it too.
Right. Those are all great answers. I would add one thing to that. If I were going to change one thing, or if I saw one thing that I think most printing companies could do to improve their marketing, it would be to hire a dedicated marketing person. If you have no background in marketing whatsoever, you need someone who understands the research, the integration, the cross-media, and you may not have that person on staff. They don't need to be doing double duty as a CSR or answering the phone. They need to be actively building the infrastructure for you to grow your company. If you can't afford a full-time person, then you might want to outsource. You might want to outsource social media management. You might want to outsource lead generation. You might want to just hire a consultant for a certain period of time to help you build your program. But I would say that would be the one thing that I would recommend, is to have someone who has oversight over building a good marketing program. This has been a great discussion. Let's give these guys a hand. Fantastic. So, now, at noon, I can't hear you. Oh. Oh, fantastic. Deborah just said that all our audience out there watching online, many people have commented on the site that they're enjoying this, and we'll all get to look at those later. I think that's fantastic. Now, the panel will reconvene on Wednesday from Market Your Printing Company. Some of these people will be back, and we'll have some additional who will be here. Also, we're going to be serving lunch here in the Printerverse at noon, and we will be greeted by Rock LaManna, who is going to speak on the cost of doing nothing. And none of us want to do nothing because it's terribly expensive. So, live from the Printerverse, this is Mary Beth Smith. Thank you for watching.
There is a question from the panel.
There is a question for the panel. What would that question be? Okay. What new technologies is this panel most excited about for 2014? Somebody.
Don't get shy all of a sudden. I think that there's so much technology out there. It's kind of like what you said about social media. You need to pick a couple of things that you're going to be good at because you can't be good at everything. And whether it's starting to get involved with 3D printing and local manufacturing, or whether it's, you know, the data collection, I would pick something that allows you to streamline your content and data management. Whatever that system is, it doesn't matter because that's going to be the foundation you build everything else on.
Augmented reality, plain and simple. From our standpoint, we're into a lot of medias already to push our marketing messaging out, live chat, all the normal stuff, all the social medias. But in our case, I think AR is going to be the one we're going to have the most fun with next year.
I would agree with both of those, but probably more with the data. I think that what we can do with the data in the marketing programs and the campaigns is going to be very, very exciting, and just the way that we'll be able to collect it and repurpose it.
I have to agree to an extent. Marketing automation is moving along very rapidly, and at some point for smaller companies is going to be available and affordable. I think that's coming soon, and that will be exciting.
I agree too. I know that, as Nicole had said, you know, trying to get in the various mediums can be overwhelming at times. So I think there's more and more technology coming out there from a marketing standpoint that allows you to integrate all of those mediums, you know, and manage them mostly in one place. Those types of softwares and solutions that are coming out that allow you to do that management in one centralized place, I think are really going to be huge, especially for the smaller shops and the people that don't have those staffs that can go in and manage it with one specific person doing just that.
Excellent. Deborah, how are we on time? I have 11:45 straight up, which may or may not be accurate. At any rate, I believe we are done. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Great, great group.